She's such a passionate person and so creative, and was very immersed in this whole world herself. So it was very inspiring just talking to her, and that sort of is what made me want to be a part of it. She was very clear from the beginning about what she wanted, and I think her directing style is also very clear. She definitely has knows what she's looking for and what she wants, and she's such a nice, lovely, kind person, and so I've just really loved getting to know her and work with her, and excited to see her vision come to life. We filmed mostly with the mirror in, so you're kind of doing these scenes and filming these scenes with a very large mirror and kind of forced to look at yourself, which was a little bit strange at first, but it kind of also was helpful because it added to the sort of uneasiness that the characters might also feel. And then we would also film on the set with the mirror out, and so the camera could kind of be the watchers in a weird way. You know, it was and it was a very cool set, but maybe one of the more unusual sets I've ever filmed on. Oh, the experience shooting in Ireland has been wonderful. It's my second time filming in Ireland. I love Dublin so much, and the forests in Wicklow, they were so perfect for the story, and all the different forests that we filmed in. Even just a forest right down the road had a completely different look and vibe, and it really added so much to those forest scenes. And then Galway was great. We filmed a few days in Galway, and Galway has such a specific feeling as well, and it was wonderful to be able to film where it's actually set. And Ireland's such a beautiful place. Loved it. Working with Alwyn and Georgina and Oliver has been wonderful. They're all such incredible actors and lovely people, and we've definitely had some challenging days filming in cold forests and running in cold and the wet, and Alwyn especially is such an inspiration. She's always so positive and so down for anything, and so that kind of, you can't help but have that energy rub off. And Georgina's lovely, has the most infectious laugh, and she's very sweet. And then I just am obsessed with Oliver. He's such a great guy, and I think has such a bright future ahead of him. So I've loved getting to know them a lot.
Had my meeting prepared for Shauna. I was actually on another job, so I only had like a day. And I read the whole book in a day while I was on set on another job, because I really loved the script, and I really wanted to go into the meeting prepared, and the best way to do that was to read the book. So I loved the book. I thought the book was amazing. The role itself was different than roles that I'd been doing recently, so that was really exciting. I knew of Ishana, and I'd seen most of The Servant, and there was one particular episode that really stuck out without me knowing Ishana directed it, which is the pizza episode. And my manager was like, "Oh, you should really watch the pizza episode." And I immediately was like, "Oh my God, I've seen that episode. I remember that episode. That episode was amazing." So I went back and watched that, and then I watched some of her shorts, and I was just really impressed by her, and really excited to be part of this job. This film feels like it's in lots of genres. It's kind of like thriller, it's kind of folklore, it's kind of horror. So I think it's doing lots of things that are exciting, and I love horror films, I love thriller films as well. The cast, it's been fantastic. I knew from the beginning that Dakota Fanning was attached, and I'm such a fan of hers, and she's such a kind of iconic actress. She's been acting since she was a kid, and everybody knows Dakota Fanning, and she fits into this world very well. So I was really excited to work with her. And then Oliver Finnegan, who's playing Daniel. He's really fantastic, and it's been really fun working with him. He's 19 years old, and he's so talented, and I feel like doesn't even quite know it yet, and I'm really excited to see how his career goes. And Daniel and Kira have a very kind of sweet relationship, so it was very nice doing those scenes with him that sometimes were a bit more uplifting than other scenes. And then Olwyn, obviously she's a very known Irish actor, and she's done a lot of theatre and done a lot of TV and film, and she's really an artist in the way that she goes about working, and she's brought a real kind of interesting dynamic to Madeline, and it's been really fun watching her act. And she's just so like physical, and she's always ready and like down to do whatever. So yeah, it's been great working with all of them.
It's a story about a young woman who lives in Galway who's kind of taken on this inadvertent adventure through Ireland, and she gets caught in the middle of a forest, a kind of enchanted forest in a structure in the woods, and meets these three other characters, and they come to find that they are being visited by these creatures every single night that come to watch them through a window. So the movie is very much a journey of kind of uncovering this mystery and figuring out what these creatures are and what they want from them. I was looking at many different things and thinking about what my first feature would be. And there was lots of different ideas I was circling around. And then this book was kind of presented to me at a random moment. And by page 70, I was like, I have to make this movie. But it's just a wonderful kind of structured book, and it's structured like a movie, and it's so visual. It felt like a kind of unending pool of inspiration to draw from, and I think it's kind of the dream as both a writer and director that you have that kind of pool. In kind of my writing of the script, it was very much about kind of remembering how I felt the first time that I read the book and what those visuals were. And literally some scenes that are in the movie were exactly the way that I imagined them the first time that I read the book. So it was very easy in that sense, where it was just kind of a retelling in my medium. I don't know how Al feels about that, if he feels it's a different thing, but to me it was very much kind of drawing from what I had experienced in his piece of art. My great love is fantasy, and most of my life has been about trying to rationalize how these kind of magical things could exist in today's world. The approach in this movie was taking something that feels kind of surreal and thinking about if it actually did exist in today's world. Al's book feels very specific in the way that he depicts the world, and particularly Galway, and he loves it. It just felt that the best way to honor his story was to come shoot it where he had envisioned it. We shot our bar scene in the bar that he wrote the book, and like passing by the seat that he wrote the book in, and it's just, yeah, it feels very kind of spiritually full circle there. Oh my gosh, this experience has been so unreal and so beautiful for me. I'm feeling very emotional about the end of it, state of being in flow and just playing. I think there's like more laughter on this set with me and the crew than I've felt in many years, or really seen. So I think that's kind of means that there's something special going on here, and a certain alchemy about the wonderful people that have come together to make this real. So I'm feeling that gratitude every day for sure. My dad and I have now worked together for a couple years, so we've mastered that kind of balance. It's a difficult thing and a beautiful thing because we're both artists and we both care about each other very deeply, so there's kind of an intensity to the process that I think not many directors and producers have. Through this movie has really given me the sense that maintaining like a healthy body and mind is really important in the process. It's been amazing. I think I now feel even more respect for him as a filmmaker, just in terms of his precision and ability to kind of master the materials. He does it with such kind of ease and acuity that it's a wonderful thing to think about.
You know what, when I read it, and now when I'm watching the footage of the movie, I'm feeling like it has a rare balance of contemporary world, a grounded contemporary world, that characters that we can relate to, but it's touching a kind of fantasy world. I think for her and her process of making it her own, it was very beautiful that she honored, I think, what Al did, and I believe Al really loves Ishana's screenplay of his book, and there was just such mutual love between the two writers that I, as the one shepherding it, felt very excited because they're both so talented, and so to have a movie now that represents both of their talents is so lovely. I just knew that the production design of The Watchers was going to be exceptional because Ishana just she's maniacal about these things. This is the perfect story to flex her muscles. The movie is set in Ireland and it has Irish folklore at its base. We never even blinked. We were going to shoot this in Ireland the whole time. We felt that you know, unless there was a major obstacle, this is where we needed to shoot it. For one thing was that we felt that was the right thing for the story, but I feel as the person that's watching to see how to get it to worldwide audiences that the strongest version of it is the one that rings the most truthful. Wow, I believe that maybe there was a folklore that existed and maybe that folklore was true. This is supposed to be entirely hers, and it needs to be led by her. And I do believe this of all artists, even if they weren't my daughter, that there's a way to help and there's a way to hinder. Even if you mean well, you can be hurting them. And if you give the great idea at the wrong time, you are undermining them. They lose their confidence, whoever that person is that you're trying to help. And oftentimes they're seeing something that you can't quite see, and you shouldn't be talking them out of the thing that they're seeing, and you don't want to get them to like, you're right, that was a dumb idea. So it's just been a joy, I'm having a lot of fun. I've gone from being worried about everything on set to just having fun on set while she's directing, and probably making too much noise at this point, just enjoying myself. But it's great to see your daughters or your children in general find their strength, and so watching that happen is amazing.
We didn't talk so much about her particular vision. That came across very much on reading the script, because there are a lot of new things she's brought into the film which are not in the book. And some of them I might have questioned as well with her, but she made very good responses and arguments why those elements were there. And it's very much her writing on top of Shine's writing. It's like it's written by the two of them, really. The whole concept, it's both of them. My Madeleine in the film is quite different, I think, to the Madeleine in the book. I love the Madeleine in the book, but she is quite in the book. She is superficially, anyway, very hard and distant. And Ishana was very interested in this other aspect of Madeleine that she wanted to draw out, which was Madeleine's fascination with the human. And at the same time, she knows that the humans that she's taking care of here in the coop have to be taken care of by her in a particular way. So she's both authoritarian, but also she's trying to learn. The whole experience has been fantastic, actually. The crew, Ishana, Eli, their whole team, and the presence of Night and the producers, who are all really, really invested in the project in a way that is, you know, in a greater way than than you normally see. You know, there's a massive kind of community sort of investment in it somehow, I feel. You know, Ishana is 23 years old. She's just extraordinary. She's got a really strong vision, not overly fixed, but she's got a really strong vision. She's got a beautiful painterly way of working. Her and Eli, it's like paint, the frames are painterly. It's a very non-formulaic way of filming, which I really, really like. And the cast, because it's so small, we can get to know each other really, really intimately. I didn't know any of them. I didn't know Dakota, I didn't know Georgina, I didn't know Oliver. They're all revelations in their own way. And Oliver is a kind of, I mean, he's so young, and he is just like, he's got an utterly unique kind of talent. I'm dying to see what he's going to do next. He has a very, I mean, the casting is really brilliant, I think. I mean, set aside, but the casting of the other three is really, really fascinating. Something about Galway, I was born in Galway, but something about Galway which always feels very, very connected to that whole way of thinking about spirituality and the invisible and all that. So I'm glad we're doing a few things in Galway. You know, the visuals are highly important. It's not about, wide shot coverage, mid shot, close up, you know. So that's beautiful to see that focus and concentration between her and Eli, how they kind of zone in on certain aspects of a scene, and they keep zoning in on those. Really beautiful.
I think what was appealing in terms of story, the idea that these monsters are not instinctively threatening, but are actually really curious with these characters, and kind of play with these characters as if they're pets. Ashana's vision emphasized the kind of the character's history and how they came to be in the coup, which kind of became like more of a family drama, but that was much darker. I think the dynamic between all of them, I mean, it varies throughout the film. Begins very strongly. It's very hierarchical, and there's a top, and there's established rules. But after Mina arrives, it's kind of disrupted when she begins questioning about, you know, how's this actually happening? Because they're kind of settled there now. They're not particularly down in things. He's going to live on. He's happy out where he is. But just to watch Alwyn and Dakota and Regina respond to direction from Ashana, it's like amazing to see how they were their ideas. And yeah, it's been I think Ashana is great for this because, you know, she knows what each moment means for each character. She's so intelligent, she's very easygoing, however, she's very funny. And so it makes it super easy. And she's very supportive as well, you know, and very warm. So.